Step back and see the macro and digest it down to the micro. Trading, investing, and geopolitics from macro down to the micro. Welcome to Macronomics.
Welcome back to Macronomics, guys. Just got out the tree. I started this book called the Uncommunist Manifesto. It's a great book thus far, and essentially this is a book outlining what capitalism is and how this has played a role in societies and civilizations as a whole. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this here on our podcast is because as we move forward, I feel like this will help us to expand our macrosphere, so to speak. Because let's face it, guys, our perspective and how we see things is not static. It will continuously evolve and change. And if you don't change and adapt, if you don't have that agility, you will be left behind. This is the natural system. And this correlates with actually the premise of the book, natural, right? But before I dive into the book, again, guys, we have to continue to build our macrosphere. So capitalism, socialism, communism, these have a role on the economy. So communism, from the perspective of at least what I've read from Karl Marx quotations, is essentially the no private property, right? Now, understanding that, we can extrapolate that piece of information and look from the macrosphere, right? Take that micro, take it to the macro. And from the macro, you can see, okay, this definitely affects the economy. If there's no private property, so, how things maneuver and the markets and whatnot, how does that work? So understanding this, guys, as we move forward, if you're in the currency market, whether it's private equity, whatever domain that we're in and we're talking about in the form of trade or investments, we have to be aware of the environment upon which that is taking place. The more we are able to understand the environment that we're maneuvering in, the better able we can maneuver, because then you're aware of the rules and whatnot. So, quick synopsis of the book thus far. So, overall, guys, essentially it is capitalism in the form of free market. But it goes down so much deeper, essentially organic process. So this process of capitalism is essentially free market. And he gets a little personal saying that we have to change this because a lot of people's perspectives about this topic is they look at it in the form of greediness and monopolies. And it hit me, and that's how I seen it. And he breaks it down and says that these meanings have not contributed but have been placed on capitalism. That's not what capitalism is. Essentially, capitalism is efficiency and efficacy. And so if you want some wood, right, I cut the wood down, I sell it to you for whatever. It's just me and you. And so over time, though, let's say I cut down all the trees. There's no more trees, right? Maybe now there's a process of me planting trees. It's just, the capitalism is just so much more, guys. And I'm continuing to evolve my perspective. So by no means am I telling you what to think or how to think about it. We're simply talking about seeds of thoughts, ideas that we can continue to expand upon. Because we're all diverse, guys. We're all diverse. And so, boom. So you got that aspect. Right now, the counter to that is simply that cronyism, which is essentially what we have now in the not free market, but governments around the world. So cronyism is essentially, politics where they choose they choose legislation that benefits those around them and the corporations aligned with them. And that's not a free market, right? That's actually, if you look at it, that's a monopoly. But it's been backwards. It's been a play on words. And so be aware of that cronyism and just continue to expand your perspective on that, because cronyism leads to a depressed and a static market, not a free market. And so I'm continuing to evolve my perspective around that as well. A lot of politics is cronyism, where there's lobbying, where you're placed in, a political role, and the money that puts you there, of course, you are tied to that, so you have to pass legislation or benefit. It's just all that. It's cronyism. Nobody got to that because of a skill set, because of something that they actually evolved and grew upon. It's simply who you knew and what you was able, not even what you knew, but I guess being able to sell yourself, so to speak. That's not a free market. And so, boom, to simplify it without going into too much more detail, here's another comparison to help us put this in perspective. So you have the first pyramid, which is essentially a depressed market, kind of what we live in now, right? You have the top of the top of the pyramid, which essentially in the book, as he put it, was politicians. And I feel like the reason why is because they pass legislation and pass rules that affect that affect everyone else. So they're kind of at the top of the food chain, so to speak. Then you have bankers. Then you have middle class. Then you have everyone else. How he put it. And so that guys, that kind of system is not conducive to growth, because you have people at the top that's passing legislation and rules based on those who put them there. So it's not based on the free market. The free market's not put them there. Then you have what essentially is the premise thus far of the book, a natural it's not even a pyramid, it was a circle, how he put it, which was cool, because it's changing, it's constantly evolving. And what I loved about it, it was that the super wealthy that are put at the top, let's just think Jeff Bezos, right? Why is he there? It's because he created a product. Now, whatever your bias is towards him, let's throw it out the window in Amazon. Let's say you don't like Amazon, whatever the case may be, let's look at it objectively, right? Amazon has solved a huge problem for people. They get products to the door simply and efficiently, right? People are able to find what they need efficiently, right? They have solved a problem. So Jeff Bezos is at the top of this circle, super wealthy. He's gotten there by actually contributing in some form, right? So then, essentially, the circle is you got wealthy, but this whole process is changing, and how they go about explaining this is essentially that the choices that you make put you within the circle. And what I love about this is an organic process, guys. You look around you, from the trees, the animals, to this device that I'm talking to you on. This has come from a natural process of competition and evolution. It's a part of life, guys. We got to face that. We can't have a model or a society where everyone is completely even, because a society like that is static and that's unorganic. That doesn't exist. You see, look, when you go in to play basketball, right? I was playing basketball yesterday. I picked up some people, right? Now, I picked them up, part of their skill set, right? Physical, but also some of their team being able. So the point is, I picked them not to be fair, but to win. And this is prevalent across all of nature. And the human realm is within the natural realm. Guys, all around you, it is the process of the fittest, adaptability, agility. And so as we move forward, keep that in mind as you continue to build your macro perspective, that this system that we live in is changing. And not even system, but this environment in which the people who get to the top is because of the choices, the skill sets, and all the choices that they've made that have put them there. The people at the bottom, same thing. Now, of course, there's scenarios in life, guys. I'm not saying the people at the bottom, deserve to be there, or the people at the top deserve to be. Some people at the top are born into it. Some people at the bottom are born into it. But come on, Jay-Z, all these types of people, I'm not going to spew them off. They're at the bottom, but guess what? They have the option to build up. They have the same options that everyone else has, and that is the key. Does everyone else have a opportunity? That's it, guys. Opportunity. Now, that's just part of my philosophical approach, guys, to what it is, and naturally what it's gonna be, guys. This is the natural process. It doesn't matter how you skin this cat, so to speak. As time moves on, the market always chooses, guys. If people couldn't eat, the people would choose. They would create a system in which they can eat. The free market, right? The people at the top stand on the shoulders of me and you, the people at the bottom. Now, I'm not saying we're at the bottom, right? But we're a part of the foundational element of this pyramid that I'm referencing. The people at the top, the politicians, the bankers, all these people, they stand on us. Why? We are the ones that use their services and their products, right? And so as we move forward, continue to sharpen your skill set. This quotation comes to mind, or this saying from Warren Buffett. The greatest way to hedge inflation is to build your skill sets, guys. Build your skill sets. And in terms of our podcast and what we talk about, build your understanding around the markets. Build your understanding around the environment upon which this trading is taking place. Build your knowledge through experience. Build your knowledge through all these. It's just build, guys. Build a skill set. You want to be a successful trader or investor? Of course, learn from people that have done it. But guess what? There's gonna come a time when you gotta actually put that in practice. You gotta shoot. In order to win, you gotta shoot. You want to win? Yesterday we was playing basketball. If we want to win the game, we gotta shoot. We can sit there on the sidelines and politic all damn day about the best way to do something. But until you do it, it doesn't mean a damn thing. The market is free. Nature is free. Organic process. That's just my 2 cents, guys. I would love to hear your perspective, because guess what? We live in a diverse, unique environment in the sense of individuals. How you think and how I think is not exactly the same. How you go about things is not exactly the same as me, and that's a beautiful thing, because I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm simply here to share the experience that I'm actually enacting, the books that I'm reading, the trades that I've taken, the practices that I'm employing. See, guys, it's all about actually sharing with you what works, and guess what? You get to take from this buffet and take what works for you. That is what this is about, guys. Now let's bring this micro to the macro and put that macro into action.